So what reduces manipulations? An efficient audit process is one deterrent. We need auditors who understand the firm and the industry. We need internal controls and documentation that are easily tested. We need auditors who are not conflicted with management. We need auditing firms who do not charge other fees for consulting services. Perhaps there should be a mandatory audit rotation so that auditors do not get cozy with managers. Deloitte has been auditing Procter & Gamble for 132 years now, and counting. Are they cozy? I don't know. All big questions that need lengthy discussion. A strong internal governance structure also helps. We need a board that understands finance. We need a board that really monitors management and doesn't just clap their every move. We need an independent board that is not related to management. Board members should not be friends, past employees of the company, or consultants. The company should have whistleblowing procedures that report straight to the audit committee composed of independent members. We need a powerful CFO who can curtail inappropriate actions of other high-level executives. Let us look at some actual cases. A fine example from the UK, Tesco, their biggest supermarket chain. They cheated using the oldest trick in the playbook: recognize revenues prior to selling. Once they put on the shelves, they considered sold, and recognize costs late, like inflating profits. Lovely PricewaterhouseCoopers did not notice. They almost never do. Profit ended up being overstated by 400 million in total profits of 1.8 billion. This is not trivial. This is huge. How did the auditor miss this? It is not that it was $50,000. We can forgive PwC if they don't notice $50,000. But 400 million? Come on. This is about a quarter of the profits that you did not notice. Wake up, PwC. Jeez. Of course there were fines. Who paid the fines? Not the managers, of course. Shareholders ended up paying the fines. Look at it this way. Some executives commit fraud. Stock price drops 30%. Shareholders lose. Then they pay fines. They lose again. They end up paying fines of more than $500 million. Did any director go to jail? Of course not. There was no evidence of intent. The intent to cheat and mislead. The trial verdict was simple for the judge. Tesco had very ambitious targets. These targets forced employees to cheat. No one ordered them to cheat. The cheating was done using aggressive and very aggressive accounting tactics. There was no falsification of documents. Wells Fargo, one of the largest banks in the world, always envious of East Coast Wall Street colleagues, set up an ambitious plan to become much larger. What do you do to increase revenue? You sell more and you sell better. How about if you cannot sell more or sell better? Well, you create sales that do not exist. What did they do? They opened millions of customer accounts without consent over a period of years, charging fees to the clients. If you called and complained, they apologized and closed the account for you. Otherwise, you had some extra accounts open. Let us say, if you have a checking account, they opened a savings account for you and charged you a few dollars more. Few people noticed. KPMG is the star auditor of this one. Wells Fargo paid fines of about $3.5 billion. Their CEO paid a fine of $18 million. What is $18 million for Mr. John Stumpf? Well, not much. $18 million for him is like paying for a cappuccino for me. Same financial hit. He knows he's now having a rich and happy retirement, I assume. No one went to jail, of course. Next is Valeant, a rising star in the Canadian pharma business. They really wanted to record revenues. They shipped drugs to a pharmacy, which they partly owned, called Philidor. These drugs were stored by the pharmacy and not sold yet. However, Valeant was happy to record it as revenue and income. Why not? Get rich quick is a good motto in life. I heard it in a rap song some time ago. I think I want to do the same. PwC was the auditor. They never disappoint us. The Canadian legal system, on the other hand, which has a bit more sense than other legal systems I know, asked the two top executives to give back about $10 million in bonuses. They also had a nice time in jail for a year, at least some justice. The examples are plenty. A recent article in the Wall Street Journal, Dentsply, it seems, took advantage of stuffing the channels. They gave a lot of extra discounts, extended payment terms, just to make sure they could record an additional $108 million in the last quarter. Of course, an artificial increase in one quarter will lead to lower sales in the following quarter, which is exactly what happened. Now we have the Whistleblowing Act, where you can report your boss or colleague if you notice something fishy is happening. In fact, the SEC gives you up to 30% of the fraud that you discover. Last year, one person got $100 million plus compensation. It is a good system, and the SEC is receiving a lot of calls. Perhaps we will have something like this in Europe also. We have a similar system in the UK. The EU has plans to do a Whistleblowing Act in 2023, next year. Let us see what happens. Of course, what you should do to maintain high ethics. Please only do business with the best of the best. I love the mission statement of JP Morgan. We aim to be the most respected financial services firm in the world, serving corporations and individuals in more than 100 countries. Isn't that grand? Isn't that impressive? It is impressive. I would love to work for JP Morgan. I want to work for the best and the most ethical. Well, it turns out that this JP Morgan slogan is only a slogan. That is, the more you cheat, the more you should pretend to be honorable and well-intentioned. It is a nice greenwashing campaign, and it always works. If you look at the non-profit company Violation Tracker, based in Washington, D.C., they show that JP Morgan had fines amounting to $36 billion since Jamie Dimon was appointed CEO. This is $36 billion that could have gone to shareholders, or $36 billion that could have gone to cancer research. All wasted. It never ends, really. Hard to say who are the good guys and who are the bad guys in this world. Let me finish off this with a video with an optimistic word. Yeah, there are a lot of problems in this world, but it is getting better. It is getting better in every sense, from child mortality to famine, but it is getting better from an accounting point of view. Scandals are less every year. Enforcement is better. Society is learning. It is becoming harder for the bad guys each and every year. It is your job as the next generation to make it much better.